I know. You'll see. Somehow the world will change for me. Guys, we're gonna get copyright striked. Stop. UMG. UMG. That's not even a joke, actually, though.
Actually, UMG is gonna literally kill all of us.
Okay.
Yes.
Welcome to the podcast with the Krenko's Bizarre Podcast with your good friends, me, Krenko, Vic.
Yo, what's up? I'm in here.
White chocolate.
Pat sneezed on me.
Something's happening to my mic. Okay, is it better?
This makes me want to put on my America hat.
Well,
Gotta find it.
we're just gonna hope that this works in the end.
Yo, chocolate.
Yes.
Do you have your tie that I gave you? Do you have it?
Why does he need a tie?
So that way we can both be wearing the same tie.
I'm not gonna go to the trouble of getting it.
Okay.
Whatever, I have mine on hand. I'm just gonna tie
we're
it.
gonna be talking about Spongebob.
Not that one.
Not the good one.
Russian Spongebob.
SpongeBob. The ripoff.
We actually don't know for sure if it's Russian. It's called Spongebob Beyond the Tale of Blue. I'm
It's really bad.
doing this voice to avoid coughing.
To avoid coughing. Okay.
Alright.
Basically what it is, it's like a Russian knockoff of the original, but we don't know if it's Russian because we have no idea who the...
I have
It's just bad English.
a lot of notes. I'm gonna try to navigate them.
I got on my tie.
I've got one more organized Word document.
And then the other one's just a pile of trash.
So what's the first item of business?
Alright, I'm gonna say the first episode uses 3D models, but for some reason it was so bad, I guess, that they changed it to 2D animation.
Yeah, but the thing is, I noticed that the only 3D models was just SpongeBob and Patrick.
Everyone else was just like a picture.
It was the weirdest kind of thing because I've never seen anything like that done before in an animation style. It's
Yeah,
like usually either
two
2D
characters
or
are
3D.
3D, and
You
then
don't-
the rest of the characters are just 2D.
You don't flip-flop in between the two with characters because it's confusing. Because it's like you have these 3D surreal-looking ones.
There's also no voices except for the narrator, who talks in this really raspy.
And that's only in
voice.
the. He sounds like he's dying. He sounds like a Khajiit. He sounds like a
Later in the episode,
Khajiit.
he talks about how beautiful his voice is.
He sounds like he has throat cancer.
He sounds like a Khajiit that has like throat problems from taking too many drugs.
He sounds like a Khajiit that had done too much skooma in the past, and now he's just trying to make his way around as a voice actor.
Alright, we're gonna say the series is made by 12th Art. The YouTube
12th
channel.
Art?
12th
Sorry, what?
Art. It's very hard to say. Don't know why they
12th
named it that.
Art.
Like, the number 12, TH, Art.
Yup.
Now,
Yeah.
that's not important. What's important is that the series markets their main character on everything they show, but he shows up in episode 5.
Which is kind of a weird thing.
Right now, there are only 5 episodes.
And he's only
Shows
appeared
up.
once.
In the final episode.
Don't know
So-
how we are supposed to feel for him, because
He
we don't
doesn't
know.
exist until the
We will
5th episode.
get into his character arc. We'll get to how he acted in the Golden Age arc later.
The Golden Age.
Okay, now this company thing, whatever this is, they will make 10-minute long fan art videos with like the type of music you'd hear in Roblox. These videos do not have ads. Instead
I've
of
seen
making
these.
one 10-minute long video with ads, I honestly don't understand it.
10 1-minute long.
I don't.
1 10-minute long.
Another
I'm looking
thing.
at,
Okay, you can say that.
YouTube channel, and they have a trailer for every single episode of this series except for part 1.
Yeah, I was
Which is kind of
gonna
weird.
get to that. Every episode has a trailer, even though some of them are like 5 minutes long.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
animation
like, dude,
takes a long time, so I kind of understand.
yeah. Well, I mean, don't they? They also show like little tidbits of it, so that way they don't have to, take as much time with animating and whatever. Because why not?
They uploaded. Let's see. Hold on. I'm looking at this. They uploaded episode 1 in
Oh yeah, there's
different languages.
8 different languages.
8 different languages. This is like a bilingual.
The only episode they did that in.
But it's not even actually different languages, it's just different subtitles.
The tie is now off.
But if we go back to the fan art thing,
It's like
I want to know
take,
I want to know who is making fan art for this and why.
they're called small
Yeah, they only have
children that are
the
confused
channel-
about SpongeBob, so they're like
6,000 subscribers.
It's tripled since I started this research.
yeah. Yeah, because I remember you showing it to me on the bus one day. You're like, "Yo, dude, look at this thing. It's like got 2,000. It's following 2,000 people and it has like 36 followers."
Oh yeah,
And
I'm
then a
gonna.
week later,
I
and
think
then a week later,
I may have
it's
read
like
it wrong, but I think that this company thing is following 2,000 people on Twitter.
yeah.
I'm gonna look at that right now.
Yeah, they have like 10 fan art. Like they have 10 fan art videos. Like
Yeah.
what the heck?
Also the freaking, like, all of the thumbnails and stuff. Like the first episode, it's like they have this whole 3D, and it's like they have a little mystery character in the background, and then it just kind of.
But guys,
That just
Yeah.
goes trash.
their Twitter,
Yeah.
285 followers. 2,289 following. I don't even know how you follow that many people.
That's how you do it. You go to your recommended, you follow every single one of them.
It's
Yeah.
all furries too.
Oh, that's the best
How did
part.
they even find that many?
So the first time they uploaded the whole, Dark City scary stuff was 2 years ago.
Yeah, there's 2
And they
years
uploaded
between
all
the
those
first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And they all get released within like, let's see, this episode 3 was released within like 2 months of episode 2. They're all like released within 2 months of each other.
From that point forward, and then it's like challenge 1, you draw Blue, who isn't even introduced till the 4th or 5th episode.
Alright.
How do these characters even know about this?
Should
How do
we
people even know about this character?
should I just dive in to the notes and read what happens in the first episode?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. We
Alright.
can discuss it.
I have a little thing. SpongeBob Beyond is a SpongeBob fan series about the Krusty Krab's collusions with the Mafia.
That's what happens.
I see it because they're like getting chased by the mafia and stuff, and then they start fighting them, and it's like, dude, what's
Alright,
going on?
Episode 1. Episode 1 progresses like a horror movie, starting with SpongeBob going to work like normal. He sees a crippled man eating a Krabby Patty IV drip, by the way.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't.
Crazy stuff.
He goes to work like normal, only to find out that the Krusty Krab is out of the special spice.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh no, Mr. Krabs, what have you been doing?
Don't
Are
know
you
what
out?
the special spice is.
I
No,
think
the
we all
Krusty
know what
Krab
the special
used
spice is.
special spice.
It's crab meat.
Okay,
Why do you
so
think there's no crabs?
SpongeBob and Patrick are tasked with going to the City of Horror to get more spice. Along the way, the 2 trucker guys from the original movie try to make sure that they can't get to the city, but their effort is wasted. Now, there's one part where they put up a sign that says, like, meteor showers or something, like asteroids falling, and then Patrick does some math to show SpongeBob that there's no meteors.
Advanced calculus.
Advanced calculus because Patrick is smart.
Earlier, let me say earlier in the episode, it is shown that Patrick he's not very smart. But then he does advanced calculus to figure out that a meteor is not going to fall on them.
Which is honestly kind of weird because, he's considered the whole dingus dumbhead of the whole deal.
Then
So it's like, bro.
let's just assume in this universe he never went dumb again.
Let's just assume that maybe he just acts dumb to get out of
'Cause
something like.
In the episodes that they're in, he's the voice of reason.
Which is actually kind of a weird deal because usually he's just the stupid boyo that doesn't understand what he's doing.
Yeah,
And he talks about freeform jazz.
Alright.
he does do that once.
There's also a part where they get to a wall that they can't get over. So Patrick is thinking of all the different ways. And he thinks about using United Airlines. Then he thinks
And
about ice cream.
Ice cream.
He thinks a bubble into existence, and they eat their ice cream while they just float over the
Yeah,
wall.
he thinks about a bubble filled with ice cream. They jump into the bubble and float over the wall.
Now, if
Yeah,
that isn't
so-
like.
Now we've not only
weird.
established that Patrick is a genius, we've also established he has some sort of magical power.
He is
involved in
Doctor
the air.
Strange. He's just
He has the ability to think things into existence without doing all the weird hand signs. He just thinks.
Just do it. If he thinks extra hard.
And then they keep
there.
going on the path. There's some weird heavy breathing sound effects and them looking really
Oh, yeah.
scared. And then it's like, and then they met the friendliest person in the city, who was me. And then it shows this turtle in a straw hat, and it looks so stupid. And then
The straw hat looks like his hair, and the turtle doesn't say anything else, even though he's the only character with the voice who's been established.
Yeah.
He doesn't say anything else. He just points him in the direction.
yeah,
Yeah, he literally just points in a direction. They're like, okay, we'll trust this dude.
which leads us into episode 2,
Yeah.
which was uploaded 2 years later. Alright, this one has the longest me telling what happened.
Okay.
In this episode, SpongeBob and... Okay.
SpongeBob.
What about SpongeBob?
Dad,
What
Bod,
about
and Patrick.
Dad, Bod, and Paytrack.
In this episode, the boys make it to the city of Beyond. When they
This isn't
arrive,
the city they were going to.
they're unsure that they're in the right city, so they proceed cautiously. After that, a group of sharks drives by, splashing SpongeBob and Patrick with mud. Now, note that this proves that they have technology. That'll be important later. Then the boys go on singing until they come across a bottle rolling in the street. The bottle is claimed by an intoxicated homeless man, showing the boys what the city is really like.
Yeah.
Oh.
Eventually, our brave heroes make it to the bazaar, where they meet the boss. Also, SpongeBob says, "I can feel the scent of the bazaar."
Yes, and SpongeBob's voice makes me physically sick to my stomach.
Honestly, though, I have to agree with you on that, Nate.
But whoa, the boys
I don't mind.
I did it, oopsie.
try to buy spice from the sharks, but are kicked out of the shop.
Yeah.
Like they're running a shop. Why would they not sell the spice?
Yeah.
Maybe
They
because
try to
it's
buy
illegal.
spice. The boss is like,
The boss
"Get
is
these
like
boys out of my sight." And
the
then they get
boss
dragged
is an
away.
Amish man.
The boss
Just
just
get
says
these
no.
boys out of my sight. And then they
Wow.
see some guy getting dragged out in a body bag.
This is Maddich,
Yeah,
I remember that
who we
part.
will learn about later. Eventually, SpongeBob and Patrick make it to Billy's traditional spice, where they meet a man. Billy has the worst voice.
Yeah.
he's
I
like
think out
he's
of
like
everybody overall.
he's like ambiguously French, but not exactly.
They also meet a turtle that explains that low-quality shark spice will destroy your body.
Hmm.
It's spice. The turtle is seen leaving the shop and being captured by sharks.
This is where I checked out.
Yeah.
So that
I
episode
just
Was the
kinda-
described part the next episodes to me.
Yeah. That episode is just kind of interesting, I guess.
It gets more confusing.
Great.
It does.
It does. In episode
to it.
3, we see the first showing of a background of a submarine. It's reused again and again. And again.
Wait, I thought
How
that
many
happened.
times does it appear
Doesn't that happen in
overall?
episode 2? They show like the submarine with the broken window at the beginning.
Oh, okay, I guess they use
Yeah,
it in almost every episode.
Yeah, they use it. They also use it in thumbnails sometimes, which is kind of stupid, but that's beside the point.
Alright.
They just use it randomly.
This episode shows SpongeBob and Patrick waiting for Jay in Rachel's diner. Who is Jay? I think he's the turtle. This scene also, like, don't they know that he got kidnapped? The scene also shows SpongeBob and Patrick meet Rachel for the first time. And it shows a very long sequence of SpongeBob and Rachel staring at each other. By the way,
Okay.
Rachel is the female SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's also
So
clearly there's an
SpongePop,
attraction
who is a
going on.
depressed middle-aged man sponge.
Which is actually
Yes.
kind of weird because
I've
it's
seen a
like
picture of him.
they're combining multiple. They're either related or they're just combining multiple universes, which is kind of stupid if you ask me, because it's a weird way to build story. But you do what
Then,
you do, I guess.
we move to the sharks talking to the boss. The sharks talk about how they are the good guys and their instincts are being repressed. Does not explain this ever again. And other
that kind of
deep
This is-
stuff.
this
sounds
is
like sounds
a
like they're trying to
recurring
make
theme.
fun of. They sound like they're trying to make fun of feminism for some reason.
Then the master, also named Theodore, shows up.
Very
And we see
inconsistent.
that the boss is just named the boss. He isn't even the boss.
The boss.
The master is the
Yeah.
boss.
The master is the boss of the boss, which is the master of all.
Then the master finds out that Green has escaped. I don't know who Green is either.
Presumably, Blue's
He's probably
older
Blue's-
brother.
Blue's older brother. Yeah. That's what I was gonna go for. Either that, or it's like an alternate universe version of him, and they just kind of teleported him in.
And then
Okay, Green
the
and
episode
Blue
ends.
stand.
Oh,
And it just kind of stops.
the episode ends with like a still picture of the master holding a wine glass and zooming out. It just zooms out of the picture. It doesn't actually zoom out.
It's like, dude, why?
This is like
This is
the
a whole
exposition.
quarter of schoolwork is led up to this
Seriously?
this podcast.
Yeah, this is kind of weird. But basically what I'm thinking so far is that this is all exposition. This isn't even the actual plot.
This is the first 3. Oh, actually, episode 4 is called The Plot. So you're pretty right.
Confirms,
my point.
confirms
Proves
the
my
theory, yeah.
No, I've got a
Proves my
lot.
point.
I'm gonna have a lot to say about episode 4, so we can touch more on episode 4 than these other episodes, because it's
Right.
just like SpongeBob goes to the city. The sharks don't give them spice, and they see the dude being dragged, and then we see another glimpse into the
SpongeBob's name
mafia.
isn't SpongeBob, it's just Bob.
It's Bob, but sometimes
is
it's
Bob.
SpongeBob.
Again, this show is very
On a good
inconsistent.
The voice
On a good
acting
night.
is terrible, and the subtitles contradict the voice acting, so you can't tell what's actually happening.
So it's basically just a whole cluster, and it's weird.
And then
Inconsistent. It's hard to understand. It's hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
let's just jump right into episode 4.
To my podcast.
Episode
Let's jump
4
there.
starts with a pregnant dolphin talking to her husband, Blue,
Yeah, that's right.
about how the
Yep.
baby,
Right.
who isn't born
Finally
yet,
Blue.
wants their jumper to be finished. The baby is not born.
The baby doesn't exist yet. They're like, yeah, I gotta make this jumper real quick. Make sure it fits inside. of that
Apparently,
womb."
the baby is keeping the mom up to finish the jumper.
Okay, so the baby has control of the mom.
Of
it's-
the mom.
I-
That doesn't make sense.
It's like the baby is actually Hierophant Green inside of her,
Yeah.
and it's just Cockyoin taking control of a mom.
Oh.
That is JoJo reference.
Is that a
reference to it. Is that a JoJo reference?
dude? Is that title a JoJo reference?
this entire podcast is a JoJo reference.
The pictures below us are just our stands.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are our stands. Krenko made his own.
Mine is
Krenko
just
made one for me, and then chocolate is a random picture.
mine is just King K. Rool with his Smash Ultimate moveset.
That picture of Mike Wazowski, that's mine.
And then mine's just like the little funny smiley orbs,
Mm-hmm.
but it's on top of a guy giving 2
Top
thumbs
of a
up.
stock image.
It's beautiful. Oh, it's light outside.
Alright, now. The mom thing also talks about how she doesn't like Blue working all the time. Even though Blue works in a forge behind the house.
Which is kind of stupid.
So
Like, hey,
I guess she
come
just
on in.
does not leave the house.
I think she might be a hardcore stay-at-home mom for a
And then-
child that she doesn't have yet.
Blue, you can see that he skipped leg day because his legs are tiny. They drew him all buff, and then his legs are tiny.
He has like a
Yo.
weird version of Thor's hammer.
Skip leg day, boys.
Yeah, he has a weird hammer. He uses medieval weapons, and he looks like an edgy OC because he is one.
Yeah.
Even though
Oh,
they
but
have
he looks like
technology and presumably
He looks
guns.
like yo,
Yeah.
Krenko. I think he might just be like a knockoff of Sonic. Just like a really crappy Sonic OC.
From Sonic.
Dolphins. I can go really fast underwater, but when I'm above water,
I'm really slow.
I'm really slow, like a turtle.
Alright. Then, that scene ends with, Blue being like, I'm sure my work won't take long. And then he goes outside in the backyard to the forge, where he meets his... And then it goes to the sharks again. The boss is eating a meal. It does not tell us what it is or really show us any picture that shows us what it is, so I don't know what he ate.
Crab.
Probably Mr. Crab.
And then the shark that he beat up at the end of the last episode, I didn't mention that. He beat up the shark that was in the rug in episode 2. Because that guy is going against the sharks.
Confusing, but
And then,
interesting.
so the guy that got beat up comes to have dinner with the boss. And the English is very bad. And then the boss says, "So glad you could join us."
With like that pause in there, is it natural or is it unnatural? That's the
He
real
said he
question.
makes that pause, and then he says, "It should never be overcooked. It should always be rare and juicy."
Oh boy.
This is
No,
a
that's
quote. It says "it," not like this chicken. It says "it." Like, what is he talking about?
He's talking about life. He's talking about life, Krenko.
I've done a.
It should always be. That's my new motto. It should never be overcooked.
Woman.
It should always
Should
be
always
rare
be
and juicy.
Juicy. No, that doesn't sound like some kind of weird saying that your grandpa would say. I don't know what it is.
Actually, I think like Grandpa did tell me that.
It should never be overcooked. It should always be rare and juicy.
But
I'm gonna say that to my grandkids to confuse them one day.
Then the boss tells
Write that down.
Maddich, who is the shark that got beat up, that he is boiling, which causes Maddich to feel such deep pain that no long torture session could ever induce, which causes him to reveal Blue's location, even though he's literally at his house.
They're at Blue's house.
Like, Blue is at his home,
To my homeboy.
and then
Then why?
the boss says that Maddich is boring, and Maddich says that Blue is at his house. It's like, where else would he be? And now
He's fighting demons in the 4th realm.
now it cuts back into the dolphins, where we see like 4 dolphins in the forge. One of them is named Jimmy, and here's some dialogue between Jimmy and Blue. "How much time do we have? Until tomorrow. Are you sure? We're running out of time."
Is that all it says?
That's what they say.
Build suspense for something we know nothing about.
And then it tells us that the sharks are getting closer to the shell of life.
What?
You guys know about as much about what that is as I do.
Life's
Why
a
do they
plan,
just keep dropping? It's like heavy plot. It's like this
but
is
it doesn't have
obviously
any
important.
correlation.
It's obviously important. I bet they're not gonna pick up on it later.
Yeah.
They're not. They're just dropping heavy plot points, but they're not having any
Like,
correlation. to
who
this
even is
plot
Blue?
at
Why do all
all.
these people know
It's
him?
like it's
Maybe it's
but-
because he's blue, and if he were green, he would die.
you never tell Harry he's a wizard, and he just like appears at Hogwarts.
Yeah. Okay, but after that,
I just put a whole pack of gum in my mouth.
okay.
You're welcome.
Well, Rachel and Billy are seen driving a car, presumably to the forge. Then they have some weird dialogue that I didn't
What?
bother to watch for the third time, so I don't remember what it was.
Why are they driving a car?
Then,
driving a car.
like,
Because
they are
that is
driving
heavy
a car
technology.
before this epic
Underwater.
battle with medieval weapons.
This makes logical sense.
Then,
that has only been talked about now.
yes.
Yeah. So you said earlier they were driving a car in the city, but they don't have guns. They have swords.
Yes.
They're like, we had guns before we had cars.
Which is actually kind of an interesting deal. So did they reverse it, or are guns just a really well-kept secret?
Well, guns
lot
aren't
is, though.
edgy enough.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, makes sense. This is probably why it's so popular with 12 and 13-year-olds all around the world.
What
And
does it say
then,
all
okay.
around the world?
So, well, it's in 8 languages, so it's gotta be all around the world.
So I mean, it's got to be like universally known by the
Then-
entire population of Russia.
Billy and Rachel. Oh yeah, we only know this is Russian because the first episode has a link to their Russian Facebook.
Yep.
So Billy and Rachel.
We could probably be making false assumptions, though.
Yeah.
I mean, does anybody care?
Is anyone gonna watch this?
I don't
I
think
mean,
so. This
just
just
my
won't get
class.
This
national.
isn't a very well-known
my
company.
This is a horribly unknown company, so it's like
Yeah, they're trying their best, and I respect them for
either
that, but they're
that or
not doing a good
we'll
job.
become the forefront of where the heck all this discussion came from.
Actually,
We'll
that's
become
Salty K
very
Dan.
famous.
Salty DK Dan. He made a
Seriously?
video. He made a video about this. So then I did a school project on it.
Ah.
If that isn't like professional meme stealing, I don't know what is.
Okay,
Like,
so
honestly.
alright, let's get back to business,
boys.
boys.
The deep in this.
Billy and Rachel get to Blue's house. These names are hard to remember.
Fuck.
They're all so generic.
They get to Blue's house, and they try to get into the forge, but when Blue goes to let them in, the boss shows up with sharks. Everyone,
Ah, shucks.
I don't know how the sharks got there, like at the same time.
Honestly, though, this plot kind of makes me want to just intentionally
Bruh.
drive this
Bruh.
directly into the
Bruh.
eye.
Then I have a note that says everyone uses medieval era weapons to make it more edgy. I think I have some other notes. Let me. I'll look at.
Too school for cool.
Oh yeah, the Strangler lives in the city.
Yeah, I saw that.
The Strangler.
That SpongeBob stands on his corneas.
Yeah. Stands on his corneas. Yep, that guy.
Okay, I have episode 4 equals Oblivion dialogue.
Pretty much.
Oh no. I'd have to agree.
I have
Are we
it
going
says
on
if
to
you're
it?
confused, so am I.
If you're confused, so am I.
Alright, do we have any dirt on episode 5?
Hold on.
At all.
Oh yeah.
Is it?
Okay, so Billy says, "Let me do the talking. I'll explain everything myself."
Sips tea.
And then I have a
Sorry,
video of
dude.
the old man getting beat up in that one episode of SpongeBob.
Oh yeah, how many times
Of
are we gonna
course
have to
you do.
teach you this lesson, old man?
How many times are we gonna have to teach you this lesson, old man?
And that's like my proof that they should have technology instead of an actual clip from the videos. In episode 5, I actually have the least to say because it's the most
Oh, really?
boring.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that because like
Even
about
though episode 4 is just mounting tension.
Yeah.
episode 5 is just absolute just trash plot and it's just like bruh. It's just confusing.
Well,
Tension,
So-
and then it drops
so
off
it
a cliff.
starts and it's like this flat scene where the sharks are coming with their swords and they're coming to get the dolphins. There's a huge dolphin with his fists. There's Blue who has a hammer, and there's a small dolphin with his eyes covered who has a bow.
Yeah.
I have a question.
How can he shoot if he has his eye covered?
No, that's
Or
not
his
the
eyes
question.
covered?
What does this have
What
to
is
do
your
with
question?
SpongeBob?
Spong Bong? What about him?
This all started with SpongeBob with a
Yeah.
SpongeBob fan animation, and now it's just
Yeah.
a way for them to launch their OC.
Essentially.
Like, where did Bob and Pat go?
Bob
the-
and Pat are
Actually, in episode 5, it shows you that they're just still at the diner.
Yep, they're stuck in the diner.
They never
aren't
left.
doing
All this
anything.
happened within minutes.
This all happened about 30 minutes.
Alright, in episode 5, Rachel's model changes for some reason. It looks worse, so I don't know why they changed it. And the sharks have a battle. The dolphins lose the battle and are forced into their basement, which is basically a cave. So then the
And then they're
boss
gonna-
the boss asks them for the shell of life. They don't give it to him because they don't even have it.
I thought the sharks were already close to the shell of life. What the
Yeah.
heck?
Yeah, I thought they already had it.
Then
They
They
the
were gonna
close.
open it up like a clan.
boss takes a rock
No,
out of his
but you had
pocket. He throws it into the house, or into the forge, and it just starts on fire.
Why? How? Where is the logic? How does this even occur?
This ancient
This shouldn't be
Greek
physically
tragedy is
possible.
too tragic.
And then after there's how the forge lights on fire, it cuts back.
Not the forge.
It cuts back to the diner that SpongeBob and Patrick have been at for days, like actual days.
Like actual.
Waiting for the spice.
And SpongeBob, the middle-aged man, is
Yeah.
closing up the diner, and he says he's gonna go look for Rachel. So then, SpongeBob and Patrick go with SpongeBob. They leave the diner, and the episode ends.
Yep.
Oh,
So at this point, this is as far as they've gotten. We have no idea what they're gonna do with the
and then
series
they
next.
stopped. And for let's
From
see,
what I can tell, it's gonna get worse.
video was posted.
Yeah. When
I
this
mean-
video was posted, they only had 5 eps, and they had about 10-minute long subscriber art challenges.
It
Not
can't.
even. They're like,
It can't
Less
get
than a
better.
minute or over 2.
yeah.
There's no way. They've hit rock bottom twice, and then they've shattered the
So
bottom of
maybe
rock
they'll.
bottom.
This is like when you hit
going.
bedrock in Minecraft, and then you actually manage to break the bedrock and fall through.
The last episode was up. The last video was updated 4 days ago.
Yeah. So basically, the activity is pretty recent on the channel. I mean,
Well,
They
they've
probably have
tripled
an
in
active base.
subscribers since I started this.
yeah, and I'm sure they have a nice fan base, though.
Oh, but let's look at the fan base. I have it up on my phone.
Oh, great. I'm gonna read you. I found a description of what they do online while we were talking, and I'm just gonna read you. I'm gonna read you what it says. It says members of the 12th Art Animation Group has spent some years learning and experiencing, and now through the Beyond series, they are trying to create a new atmosphere among SpongeBob fans. That was all one sentence.
They have
Yep.
spent years.
No. They
apparently.
wish to know
But we're
comments of
learning.
SpongeBob fans they wish to know comments of SpongeBob fans and continue this story with Bob, Patrick, no comma, and new characters in a new city. So grasp this opportunity to have an effect on these stories. the 12-hour art counts on your creativity. So they're not even using their own things.
Yep,
Yeah,
they're
they-
basically just asking other people to do stuff for them.
Okay, I have more proof. They have, so it says they have 1,549 members, and most of the members, let's see, I'm just gonna read the top 6: Zegon, Nikita, Mikhail, Galina,
Mikhail.
Olga, and Anna.
That's Russian. That's...
Beautiful names. Beautiful names.
Should I just scroll through the people
Is this in
they're
there,
following?
the, about section?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright,
Is this
Dreamy
in the,
Snoozer. I am but a small and funny animator. One of these people is gonna find this video, they're gonna be like, these guys made fun of me on the internet.
Not my internet.
I'm scrolling down. They have a contact, and okay,
We're gonna get contacted by the
it's
police one
Patrick
day.
Patrick, last name Gurr, and then their profile picture is the Tonal Drama Island is.
Total Drama Island. Wait, are you looking at their? Are you guys both looking at their followers right now?
I'm looking at the followers. There's
No,
a guy.
I'm looking on a different website where their description was. Holy heck!
There's a bunch of people with generic things like some guy. There's this guy. It says, "I like."
Bruh.
Oh no. Oh boy.
I'm a person.
12 art fan group.
I'm a
12.
person who spends way too much time on YouTube and Billboard. Dog lover, also cat lover.
Also, cat lover.
Well, of course you're a
Bruh.
aren't you?
Sam Blue.
I mean, hey. The tale of
Bruh.
who
Don't-
I'm
saved the
a-
city of beyond.
Bruh.
Who? I'm a
Bruh.
homosexual
Bruh.
hedgehog boy who's also Gen Z garbage.
Oh, that
There's
doesn't.
a lot of
that
there's
sound-
actually a lot of Sonic profile pictures.
Yeah. So apparently they updated their Twitter 6 days ago, so they put up a bunch of ads for all of their YouTube videos.
Hello, I'm just your friendly neighborhood depressed semi-furry.
Why? What is this?
Plays
12th Arts.
plays games and draws.
I'm gonna scroll down to like I'm just gonna keep scrolling and then I'm just gonna tap and hope to God I don't get something gay.
Okay,
Okay.
Well,
this person has a Sonic profile pic, but they're like whatever this is called says JoJo. So
Dude, I just
Full circle.
Land
full
Rando.
that was a full circle.
Land Rando. I'm a big
Bruh.
Doom, Borderlands, and D&D. And the post that he has is Garfield with big old Mongongolo Gongus, and they're
By
hanging
and
out.
ready to die.
I'm gonna start watching these fan art videos.
Wait, thicker than a Snicker. Oh boy.
Okay, so it's the picture they use for Blue.
16-year-old lesbian.
A weird.
Okay.
Yeah,
Big
this.
old cream pop.
Oh, speak so loud. It just looks like a bunch of.
Polyam, mommy of two.
Single
Human
picture
pup,
here looks like
red
it was
panda.
drawn. Every single picture looked like it was drawn by some edgy teen.
Well, it was.
Was. I'll have you know.
She, her, 24, pan, polyam, mommy of two, human pup, red panda.
Did you find it?
How can you
Did
be
you
a
find it?
human pup and a red panda?
I don't know.
Use a character to draw. It will be in the next video. 670 views. There's a soundtrack that's 2 minutes.
Yeah, the
long.
whole soundtrack is 2 minutes long.
Miners, take a hike.
Oh god.
Oh. Video. The song is really like high pitched
I'm
and squealy and
frisky.
it's annoying. Ooh.
Fly
Oh,
me into
boy.
the sun, my dude.
Let's get everybody's. Let's wrap this up with everybody's thoughts on the show. I personally thought it was a hot pile of garbage and an analogy for the drug trade in America.
I thought it had some really deep moments, you know? They
What did?
really tug your heartstrings, like, it should always be, it should never be overcooked. It should always be rare and juicy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
Now that's a very deep metaphor for life. Because if you wait too long on your chances, they'll be overcooked, and you'll lose them. They'll lose the fruits of your labor. But if you pounce on your chances while they're still rare and juicy, you may just become something in this life.
You may just.
Alright, Vic, what did you think?
Poor little boys, poor little boys. Poor little boys.
For myself.
Thank you for your comments. Okay. Thank
I
you,
think this wraps up.
Genius Hour class that's not gonna watch this.
Thank you, Genius Hour class.
I appreciate
Shit.
Each and
I'll
every
see
one
you
of
guys
you,
next year.
except you.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
Except who?
You, like,
Yo.
they know who they are. They know who I don't
they know.
appreciate. Who all of
They
us don't
understand.
appreciate. Everyone in the room does not appreciate this person, and they know who it is.
Who it is, and I feel like they don't deserve what they're about to get. And by they don't deserve, I mean they deserve it a lot.
Okay, I'm
I
gonna.
agree.
We're gonna
Right.
fade out.
So do you wanna? We're gonna fade
Okay.
out into the darkness.
Gonna fade out right now. Except
Listen
I'm
to
not
me.
actually gonna take the
Deuces.
time to do that, so it's just gonna be an abrupt
Deuces.
stop.